Recently, inspiration hit me really hard and gave birth to the main musical idea for my brand new Piano Etude No. 6. And guess what? This time the inspiration attacked my left hand first. Listen to how it sounds. I decided to go all in on rhythm this time. The whole etude is basically built around this one rhythmic motif, and honestly, I started by playing just the rhythm. Then I dressed it up with notes, harmony, my own chords, the full classical nerd package. Okay, now let's hear what I came up with for the right hand to match the left hand. You can say the right hand is trying to balance the left, or maybe it just wants to sing long, beautiful lines. But well, it's a piano. Long notes die very quickly, so right before they disappear, I attack them with faster notes. Classic piano survival strategy. And then boom! Both hands finally play the main motif together. As we all know, an etude is supposed to have an educational goal, while also being a technical flex. In this piece, I chose rhythm as my torture method of choice. I think what you just heard is a perfect showcase of that core rhythmic idea. It's going to be the DNA of the whole piece. Of course, it will disappear from time to time. Sometimes you just need to take a break, show something else, give the brain and the ears a little vacation. Now let's listen to the whole fragment I've composed so far. And now, sheet music time. We're in quarter note equals 120.
Calmo ma energico.
Calm but energetic. Time signature 4/4. Starting mezzo forte. Already at the beginning, you can clearly see the main rhythmic motif in the left hand. This means playing octave lower. There is no pedal here yet, but lots of slurs. Look how beautiful those long right-hand notes look in the score. Too bad they'll vanish in the real life very fast. In the ninth bar, both hands finally play the same rhythm, but with completely different articulation. Left hand, pure legato luxury. Right, slurs plus staccato dots. Then in bars from 15 to 16, we finally use the pedal and take a short break from the main motif. Completely new rhythmic objects appear and nicely close this section. Okay, now listen to the whole thing one more time with the score on the screen. If you enjoyed this little sneak peek, smash the like button. It really helps me a lot. Subscribe if you want to see how this etude ends. Or if it ends at all. Who knows? And I'll see you in the next video. Stay rhythmic, stay curious. Bye. Forte, it means pressure, it means direction, and if you don't control it, your music becomes flat. Today I'm continuing Piano Etude number 6, and I want to show you how dynamics and repetition create real tension, not just sound. First, listen to where we are so far. This new section begins immediately in forte. In the score we see markings like fortissimo possibile, as loud as possible, fortissimo, very loud, forte, loud, mezzo forte, moderately loud, mezzo piano, moderately soft, piano, soft, pianissimo, very soft, pianississimo, as soft as possible. But dynamics are not just about volume, they are about psychological intensity. Forte means confident and forward moving. When I compose, I don't think in decibels, I think in emotional distance. How close the listener feels to the sound, and how much pressure is inside the harmony. The left hand keeps repeating one rhythmic cell almost obsessively. One idea explored deeply. The rhythm stays nearly the same while the pitches change. So repetition creates stability and harmony creates direction. The right hand introduces a new layer, a sustained octave with a moving line. Since the piano cannot truly sustain like strings, we create the illusion of sustain through layering, register contrast, and pedal. At mezzo piano the pedal enters, and suddenly the same rhythm feels more distant and atmospheric. Almost everything in this etude grows from one rhythmic idea, but tension is shaped through harmonic shifts, register changes, dynamic shaping, texture density, and articulation. Tension works like gravity. Something must pull forward. A climax only works if it has been prepared. If you stay loud the whole time, nothing feels loud anymore. Contrast creates meaning and direction creates emotion. Now let's look at the score. As I mentioned, we start in forte. The left hand keeps repeating that rhythmic cell, and honestly, that's exactly what piano etudes love. One idea explored deeply. Many etudes are built around a single rhythmic motif. Mine is basically the same, just with small changes here and there. Now the right hand, I gave it three voices, a held octave plus a moving line, while the octave sustains. Here mezzo piano enters, and here the pedal. Then we return to the earlier right hand motif, but in a slightly different harmonic color. You can see the left hand stays very low most of the time, so I almost always transpose octaves downward. It continues like this until the end of today's section. Notes with crescendo straight into fortissimo possibile. I'm really excited to see where this piece goes next. Which direction do you think it will take? After this loud build-up, do you feel it's heading even louder or suddenly soft? Let me know in the comments. Now listen to the whole piece from the beginning, including today's new part, with the score on screen. But before we start, if you're enjoying this, please give it a like and subscribe for more. See you in the next part. Bye. I decided that the next section of the piece would begin as soft as possible. But before we move on to the new fragment, listen to where I left off the last time I was working on my Piano Etude number 6. The previous section ended with a crescendo all the way to fortissimo possibile, which means as loud as possible. After that, there is a quarter note rest, and the silence became a very important moment in the piece. From there, I could have taken many different directions. I could have continued quietly, slowed things down a bit, or even kept playing as loud as possible. But I thought it would be more interesting to start with pianississimo, as soft as possible for a very short moment, and then through another crescendo return to fortissimo for several measures. Here I play our main motif in both hands, in unison, which means the right and left hands play the same thing. Then the main motif remains in the right hand, but the harmony changes, and the melody of the motif is transformed. To make it even more intense, 16th-note runs appear in the left hand. And all of this feels like it's about to explode. Almost. Then we return again to the main motif played by both hands. But now the right hand moves higher than before, and after 2 measures only the rhythm remains, because the right hand starts playing different melodic intervals, while the left hand moves up and down. Now listen to how this new whole section sounds. Let's also take a look at the score. At the very beginning, our main motif appears as soft as possible, and through a quick crescendo, it grows to fortissimo. You can immediately notice the repetition of the main motif in both hands. Only the pitches are different. After 6 measures, we reach the passage, where the 16th note runs appear in the left hand. They are not easy to play, because as you can see there is a shifted accent here. It is tricky, because when playing it feels as if the left hand wants to turn slightly in other direction than what is written. But I think that actually creates a very interesting effect. Listen carefully to the left hand here. After this runs, there is a boom, low octave chords, and then suddenly, in the next measure, we sneak in from a sudden piano, a crescendo, back to forte with our main rhythmic motif, and the whole section ends with another crescendo. I still don't know exactly how the piece will continue. What do you think about the piece so far? Do you like it? Which direction would you take next? Do you think it will become quieter or louder? Will I return to the main motif, transform it, or introduce something completely new? I'm curious about your thoughts. In a moment, we'll listen to the entire piece with the score, including today's new section. But before we do that, if you enjoy what I'm doing, you can support me with a like and by subscribing to the channel. See you in the next and definitely the last episode with this etude. Alright, today I'm finishing my piano etude number 6. It's going to get a bit loud after all. This is the final. We'll return to 16th notes, but this time they'll appear in the right hand. There will also be new melodic motifs and a pretty intense continuation of the main rhythmic idea of the piece. But before we get into that, listen to where I left off in the previous episode. Today's section begins in fortissimo, so very loud. The left hand continues the main motif, but to make it more powerful, it plays it in octaves. In the right hand, a new rhythmic motif appears. Here I've written 8 measures that form one complete section, where each bar begins with an accent. The left hand accompanies with the main motif, while the right hand introduces a new idea that develops into a closed melodic phrase. Take a listen. We still have 13 measures left until the end of the piece. We stay in fortissimo. The right hand continues with similar patterns, but also starts playing the rhythm of the main motif for 4 measures. After that, 16th notes appear in the right hand for another 4 measures. They actually act as accompaniment, because in the left hand the main motif becomes more melodic, still based on the core idea of the piece. Now listen to how it sounds. And finally, the piece moves down to mezzo forte just to build back up with a crescendo to fortissimo again. This section is a bit different from the rest. It becomes atonal. Both hands play their main rhythmic motif in the parallel octaves, leading us to the last 3 measures. In those final bars, the right hand plays strong 16th note in the upper register of the piano, while the left hand continues the main rhythmic motif, reaching fortissimo possibile, as loud as possible. Every note is accented, and both hands play the main motif in octaves, across the extreme high and low registers on the piano. And that's how my piano etude number 6 ends. Now listen to the entire new section. I'm really happy to have finished this piece. and I'm very satisfied with the result. My goal was to build the whole etude around the rhythmic idea, something that might sound familiar, but as far as I know, hasn't really been explored in piano etudes in this way. I'm quite proud that I managed to create something original and move away from patterns that often repeat in piano music I know. I'll also try to make a separate video about this etude from a more emotional perspective. Now listen to the full piece and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.